Welcome to the Ed Answer Key, the podcast where in the time it takes to complete hall duty and attendance, we embark on an educational adventure for both teachers and families. So whether you're a seasoned educator or a family navigating the school system, buckle up for the Ed Answer Key.
Implement a bunch of writing things if I want them to be able to have that academic discourse and that type of thing. And that's what I'm talking about as far as really planning and thinking about what you're going to do.
Right.
Like when I first started teaching, we had to have our lesson plans on our desk every Friday, and the principal would come and check, and she would literally write comments. It wasn't like, oh, she's not going to look at this. And that's why I say I don't know.
The shift has come far because we used to have to submit plans. You used to have to actually write in a lesson plan template. Has anybody seen one of those in a minute? When you want to actually think through, I'm not saying like fill it out religiously, but especially looking through it, why did we do that? That's the teacher prep programs. That's the way that we were taught. But do we not use that? No, because everybody creates their own thing. So now it's like we've kind of come away from that. I almost wish, and I know that's just me because I don't mind a little micromanaging because I hate too much, and ambiguity just bothers me. So it's like a little bit more either by department, admin. I just miss that to some degree. Like where's the expectation? Where's the accountability?
But that teacher autonomy that you're talking about, I mean, I think most teachers, I've seen most teachers really expect that teacher autonomy. And we talked about this before in previous episodes that it can be dangerous as far as with the teacher autonomy. And there's been resistance that I've seen where now you've got companies that are committed and that were created to create some type of curriculum for a particular domain, mathematics or whatever it is. They'll have this platform that's there, and you have a district or a school that's like, okay, we're going to implement this. But then your foot soldiers are like, I don't want to do this.
Or not this way.
Because my kids aren't going to be able to do this. That's where I'm seeing like the disconnect of the planning and everything that's there. It's like, we used to plan. Now we don't plan, it's just activities. So the district's seeing like we need more planning.
Right.
And with that more planning, here's the curriculum. But a lot of teachers don't want to do that.
Well, accountability if that's lost to some degree.
Well, I think too, some teachers don't even understand like the difference between what the curriculum is for, like your instructional strategies versus the structure, the way. So the curriculum has all this stuff for you, has enormous amount of, you can't use everything. Right. So what parts, once again, this comes to thinking about your students, who's in front of you, what parts are you going to use? So the curriculum is giving me these instructional strategies. How am I going to structure it to meet the different needs of the students that are in front of me? And so I just think teachers, so say if a curriculum has differentiated options or small groups, they're teaching everybody as one class or, and you're not thinking about, okay, well, what else do I need to do so I can make sure those that are, excelling and need to be challenged all the way down to those that need more support. What can I do? And they're not doing that. It's either like, here's the curriculum, or we're going to jump on some other platform that
that's blocked at schools now.
This understanding what the difference is between those instructional strategies and where your autonomy and creativity comes in is how you structure it.
Totally.
And just because the book has it structured this way, that doesn't mean that's good for all your students. You've got to think about who's in front of you.
I feel like having a class, like I have one class that's 2 grade levels and multiple different levels. On a given day, I might be teaching 3 different lessons. One that's independent because I have, a student that's a little higher than one that's like 8th grade and one that's 7th. And it's like to think through all of that I think teacher exhaustion comes into play. People don't want to think through. They're like afraid if I ever bring up, we could do that with this group. They're like, oh, we're doing different things with other people. Like, yes, that's what we have to do sometimes. And I think what you're talking about is exactly that. It does take effort and energy to think through, and people can hardly show up, let alone. And I think we're at that stage of teacher. I'm saying exhaustion again, but I don't know if there's burnout. I mean, it just feels like that's part of it. We don't have the energy for creative and critical thinking even for our students anymore. And I don't know where that's gone. and if it will come back for some.
Yeah.
So. It's overwhelming sometimes. I mean, the amount. I mean, I'm a teacher that I put in a lot of hours, and a lot of teachers will make fun of me on doing the most and all that. But it's overwhelming with as much time as I put in to create a good lesson and like scaffold the way that I know my kids will need. And then you think, oh, wait, but I could do this strategy. Oh, I could do this. Well, oh, what about that? I haven't used that in like 3 weeks. And oh, what about that? And it's just completely overwhelming. There's too many options and they're all good.
Right.
But how do you pick and choose, and how do you remember them all and use them consistency to build routine? But if you use them too much, then the kids don't like it anymore. And so then you have to switch it up. And it is totally overwhelming.
Everyone here is just veteran teachers, but imagine being somebody new.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got to deal with that.
Right.
And on top of that, all the other like cultural differences, and we talked about poverty.
Right.
Add all those variables into the mix and come up with a good lesson. And
that's so true.
Why,
that's so true.
Co-planning is so important because you can't. I mean, I shouldn't say you can't.
You shouldn't.
You should not.
You should not.
You should not be doing that.
Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the Ed Answer Key. Your support means the world to us. Be sure to stay in the loop about upcoming topics by downloading our free podcast companion at www.edanswerkey.com. So until next time, class dismissed.